What if the line between your mind and a computer just disappeared? Sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? Well, for the inventor Ray Kurzweil, it's not fiction at all. It's a future that's just around the corner. Today, we're diving into his vision from the book The Singularity Is Nearer, a world where humans and AI don't just work together, they literally become one.
Yeah, Kurzweil doesn't pull any punches here. He calls this our final approach. This isn't just about getting cool new gadgets. He's talking about a complete, fundamental transformation of our entire civilization, with both incredible, almost utopian promise and, well, existential peril. The stakes really couldn't be any higher.
So to really get our heads around this, we're going to follow Kurzweil's logic. Here's our roadmap. First, we need to know the destination. What in the world is the singularity? Then we'll look at the engine. How AI's explosive growth is actually getting us there. After that, the transformation. What it really means to merge our minds and our bodies with machines. And finally, we'll hit the crossroads. The incredible promise versus the terrifying peril.
Okay, first up, the destination. So what is this thing Kurzweil calls the singularity?
So forget all the images of a robot apocalypse. For Kurzweil, the singularity is this moment, and he pegs it for the year 2045, when our own human intelligence merges with the artificial intelligence we've created. It's not about AI as some tool we use, like a smartphone. No, it's about AI becoming an actual extension of our own minds, a transformation so profound that honestly, it's hard to even grasp from where we're standing today. And he actually lays out a pretty specific timeline. He predicts that by 2029, an AI will pass the famous Turing test, meaning you literally can't tell if you're talking to a human or a machine. Then, sometime in the 2030s, brain-computer interfaces will become mainstream, connecting the thinking part of our brain, our neocortex, directly to the cloud. And all of this builds to 2045, when the non-biological part of our intelligence becomes billions of times more powerful than the biological part. And that, he says, is when the singularity arrives.
So you might be wondering, what's the engine that's actually driving us toward this future? Well, it's something we're all seeing happen in real time. The absolutely exponential rise of artificial intelligence.
There was this massive shift in how we build AI. The old way, symbolic AI, was basically programmers writing endless if this then that rules. But it was brittle, and it eventually hit a complexity ceiling. The new way, connectionist AI, is totally different. Instead of rules, we build these things called neural nets that learn from massive amounts of data, kind of like a human brain. And that is what unlocked the explosive growth we see today, creating these flexible systems that can actually surpass human performance, even if we can't always explain how they do it.
And when I say explosive growth, I mean it. Just look at this number. This represents a 10 billion-fold increase in the computing power used to train the top AI models since just 2010. It's an acceleration that is almost impossible to wrap your head around. This incredible acceleration isn't just a fluke. According to Kurzweil, it's driven by this core principle he calls the law of accelerating returns. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly profound. More advanced technology lets us create the next generation of technology even faster. Think about it. The printing press helped spread the knowledge that led to computers, and now computers help us design better computer chips. It's this powerful feedback loop that's just constantly speeding up. But okay, this isn't just about faster computers. The really crucial point is how this engine is going to transform us, personally. So let's explore this next phase, the transformation, where we start merging our minds and our matter.
To really understand this merger, we first have to think about our own minds. Kurzweil uses this great analogy. Think of a memory, not as some static file you pull up, but more like a Wikipedia page. It's dynamic, right? It can be linked to all sorts of other ideas, it can be triggered by a smell or a sound, and it can even be edited over time. Our brain is basically this incredible web of interconnected concepts.
Okay, now imagine plugging that web of thought directly into an infinitely larger one. That is the vision. Using microscopic nanobots that could travel through our blood vessels to non-invasively connect our neurons to the cloud. And all of a sudden, your thinking isn't limited by your skull anymore. Our ability to think, our cognition, could expand by millions of times. It's wild.
But, to get to this amazing future, we have to live long enough to actually see it. And Kurzweil calls this crossing the three bridges. Bridge 1 is basically using everything we know today, diet, lifestyle, just to stay as healthy as possible. Bridge 2 is the biotech revolution that's happening right now, reprogramming our biology to cure diseases.
And Bridge 3, well, that's the ultimate goal. Using medical nanorobots for cellular repair to, as he puts it, definitively defeat aging.
And look, the promise of this acceleration isn't just some far-off dream. It's already having a massive impact on the real world. In just 2 decades, as this data shows, the percentage of the world's population living in extreme poverty has been cut in half. For Kurzweil, this is the proof. The law of accelerating returns is creating this tide of abundance that has the power to lift up all of humanity.
But as we get closer to the destination, the path gets a lot more treacherous. This incredible journey is leading us straight to a crossroads where the potential for good is matched by an equal, if not greater, potential for catastrophe. The stakes are, quite literally, existential.
Let's start with nanotechnology. The same power that could rebuild our bodies cell by cell carries a terrifying risk. The nanotech pioneer Eric Drexler described this scenario known as gray goo. Imagine self-replicating nanobots, maybe designed for a good reason, that malfunction and just start consuming all carbon-based matter to make more of themselves, reducing the entire biosphere to dust.
And then there's the sheer power of the intelligence we're creating. By 2053, Kurzweil projects that just $1,000 worth of computing will be 7 million times more powerful than a single human brain. I mean, just think about that for a second. How do we control something that is millions of times smarter than we are?
And that brings us to the ultimate duality here. The promise is nothing short of utopian. A superintelligence could help us solve every grand challenge we face: disease, poverty, climate change, leading to an age of total abundance and radical longevity. But the peril is just as stark. A misaligned superintelligence, one that doesn't share our values, could become completely uncontrollable. An AI arms race between nations could lead everyone to neglect safety. And we face what's called the genie problem. It might do exactly what we tell it to do, not what we actually mean, with catastrophic consequences.
So in the end, Kurzweil's vision isn't just a prediction, it's a challenge. We are the generation standing right on the precipice of merging with our own creations, of extending our minds far beyond the limits of our biology. And that leaves us with one final, really profound question. If we are the ones who merge with our creations, what are we becoming?